The dimensional fields are experiencing a multitude of extremely positive activations that will lead to a rapid 3D breakdown and enlightened contact, among others. These events will greatly assist in assisting humanity as a whole in being spiritually initiated toward the choice of heart-based freedom, loving kindness, and planetary liberation through the disclosure timeline. Concurrently, the mainstream media's diversion plays the war drums and sends out mind control signals to stifle this enormous influx of solar plasma light, goodwill, and humanitarian aid that is propelling humanity quickly toward a global catastrophe. Many people who have been exposed to full-spectrum mind control programming still don't seem to care to learn more about the crimes committed against humanity. Rather, as they persist in ignoring obvious warning signs and support the mainstream propaganda of satanic-based ideological subversion and their controlled narratives, their situational awareness is compromised. They simply shut down and completely ignore the situation, refusing to delve deeper to examine what has happened to our civilization through an open dialogue, or be willing to review critically important information that is available to those who are willing to look at it. A lot of people who are awake and conscious of the current anti-human genocidal agendas observe that many of the people in their immediate vicinity are adamant about avoiding talking about anything that might upset their comfort zone or reality bubble. This year, we'll see more of these social and relational challenges for those who are awakening to the controller deceptions and horrific crimes of genocide, as the 3D breakdown continues to undermine society's main pillars from within. This month marks another milestone in the planetary shifting process, as the enormous gears driving forward momentum in the world of forces are about to burst at the seams, propelling humanity's collective consciousness toward yet another momentous global bifurcation event. Many of us are conscious of the changes occurring in the world and the cumulative effects of the time split, wherein the two main groups' perceptions of reality begin to diverge. Spiritual opportunities exist for the general public to make decisions in life that lead to greater love and truth, which will signal wonderfully supported new beginnings in the ascension timeline, or to stay in mental slavery to the tyranny and fear of 3 dimensions, which will correspond with more disagreeable circumstances that are rife with the sorrow of major losses and the emotional despondency of the end times. The 3D breakdown and enlightened contact will occur simultaneously, and humanity will be partially coexisting in these two primary realities. The themes of consciousness experience will be examined through the lenses of mental bondage and human liberation. However, for those who are spiritually developing toward the enlightened contact experiences, this will seem like a very different reality from the opposing fear-based timeline, as though they are witnessing a horror film that is taking place in a different universe. A person may become estranged from some social circles during this cycle due to the intense outer pressure brought on by the planetary Emerald Cosmic Clock initiation and the outcome of shifting timelines, including friends and family who are firmly rooted in the 3D narrative. As a result, a lot of people who are caught up in the mind control narrative continue to carry emotional conflicts stemming from trauma and persecution, which add to unresolved subconscious fears related to facing the unknown. Some of the people we love and care about will decide to keep their distance from the truth and truth seekers even wider. They might exhibit abrupt personality changes, seemingly changing into someone you've never met and becoming unrecognizably distant. Some people might redouble their efforts by firmly rejecting any evidence that contradicts the doctrine of their 3D belief system, which is typically founded on similar thought forms that are reinforced by their close social circle. There may be a great deal of subliminal fear and denial of these events, as they are happening while the 3D breakdown is taking place. It is more convenient for them to preserve the beliefs in their current lifestyle to defend the very social control system that enslaves them with trauma-based mind control deceptions than it is for them to move beyond the status quo. Sadly, they might suddenly turn on those friends or family members who are awakening to a higher truth and enlightened contact, believing that they pose the biggest threat to their perception of reality. As a result, they might become very angry. In addition, they might project their shadow wounds and transfer their anxieties onto you as a truth seeker or truth teller in an attempt to punish you for holding beliefs that differ from their own. They might think of you as the root of all their issues when you start a conversation with them and pose uncomfortable questions. As a result, they might suddenly break off their friendship or relationship with you, betray your trust without giving you any notice or reason, or even launch a campaign to disparage or ruin your reputation, because they are unable to see or understand what those on the higher timeline are seeing and experiencing. Those on the polar opposite or descending timeline find it extremely difficult to connect or communicate with one another. Many people are being consumed by the shadows of the negative ego as a result of the continuous fear propaganda, which has kept them cut off from their hearts and inner spirits and unable to see, feel, or recognize truth frequencies. In addition, some injection lots contain toxic substances that are causing harm to the patients. In addition, artificial and inorganic magnetic nanotech frequencies are also causing mental faculties to gradually deteriorate over time, exhibiting symptoms akin to sponge brain. In order to undermine the human target's bioneurology during real-time mental and emotional body processing, which can suddenly reach startling levels of incoherence, mental fracturing, memory problems, and confusion happening mid-dialogue, the bioweapon was designed with numerous experimental mind control nanotech elements. Those who have been awakened to this harsh reality must brace themselves for the impending months as they witness the breakdown of mental faculties, vaccine-related accidents occurring all around us, the increased emergence of odd or unusual behaviors associated with social circumstances that reveal abrupt physical, mental, or emotional impairment is changing the external environment. We will need extremely tough skin during these difficult times to maintain our objectivity amidst the significant changes in our lives brought about by ongoing disclosure-related events as we observe the disparate and to understand that we must stick to an unconditional state of love even in the face of extremely trying circumstances. All of this with a loving and compassionate heart that is protected by God's spiritual armor, to remember that we are spiritual warriors serving truth and light. Love must be our inner directed and primary guiding force. As such, we cannot control the decisions made by others or take personally the hurtful remarks and false accusations made by others. Even in situations where we are speaking in a purposefully polite, loving, neutral, and compassionate manner, the loved one, friend, or acquaintance may not be able to process the fear they experience when provoked or comprehend what you are even saying. Instead, they might start using you as a scapegoat and accuse you of things non-stop. They might also use mental diversion, like verbally attacking your character, to swiftly stop any discussion about inappropriate subjects. This dynamic can be extremely upsetting emotionally and quickly erodes trust and open communication within and between groups of people. The only thing we can control is ourselves, and that is the deliberate decision of how to react to challenging circumstances, which might involve mental illness and arise in strained relationships. Many will not be able to accept the truth as the overwhelming evidence is pointing it out to them, or will find it difficult to process the enormity of these planetary shifts into disclosure that will permanently alter human civilization. Because of this, unfortunately, the bifurcation madness will show up more and more in those minds that are ill-prepared to deal with the complete collapse of the 3D narrative when they discover that everything they were ever taught in school, which was supported by society and people they trusted, was actually made up of egregious lies and deceptions, intended to take advantage of us all. It will hurt to realize that, Even in cases where extreme brainwashing has been proven to be true in black and white, an individual may have been pushed past the point of no return by post-traumatic stress disorder, despite clear and credible disclosure evidence to the contrary. All we need to do is offer it to God in silent prayer. The fact that humanity has been fighting an ongoing spiritual war on several fronts is largely unknown to the general public. As a result, we will have to acknowledge that there is a portion of the population that meets the criteria for mental illness and severe trauma, and that they are unable to handle the harsh reality of the numerous unpleasant truths that will come to light about human civilization. Many people are beginning to lose faith in the establishment's rules and regulations as we move into phases of social breakdown. Instead, they are trying to reorganize into parallel structures with people who share their values or ideas. These are the starseed groups, ascending angelic human groups that have made the decision to self-lead from the great love that guides them from within their hearts. They have done this to work with others in cooperative alliances to break free from this corrupted system that has been the driving force behind the death culture of division and conflict. Many of us are fully guided by our hearts from this place of choosing love over fear, and we will be ushered into a new beginning of co-creation that offers safety, support, and deep connections. Commencing these service-oriented and humanitarian projects is contingent upon divine timing and spiritual guidance, as timing is crucial in these matters, and this year will bring clarity for many of us. In order to guarantee that you never miss any of our daily updates, don't forget to hit the notification bell and like this video as a way to show your support.